Rajesh the old snake and his last temptation. Deep in the countryside, past golden wheat fields and under the shade of an old oak tree, stood a small cheese factory. The scent of aged cheddar filled the air, luring all sorts of creatures, especially one clever little mouse named Amit. Amit had found his way into the factory and was happily nibbling on a block of long-aged cheddar, savouring every bite. But what he didn't know, or rather, what he pretended not to know, was that someone else had caught his scent. Watching him from behind a dusty barrel was Rajesh the old snake. Rajesh was not as quick as he used to be, and lately his doctor had warned him, no more mice, Tom. His blood sugar was too high, his cholesterol was out of control, and he had been advised to switch to a strictly vegetarian diet. But now, seeing Amit so small, so unaware, so delicious, Rajesh felt his instincts take over. One last meal, he whispered to himself, licking his lips. One final glorious hunt before I go green for good. Slowly, ever so slowly, he crept toward Amit. In his mind, he was invisible, moving like a shadow. In reality, he was anything but quiet. His dry scales scraped against the floor, and his heavy body knocked against barrels and wooden crates, making all sorts of noise. Amit, of course, noticed him immediately. He turned his little head slightly, saw the old snake creeping forward, and smiled to himself. But he said nothing and continued to nibble on his cheese. Rajesh, thinking he was still undetected, got closer and closer. His mouth watered, his stomach growled, and finally, when he was just an arm's length away, he coiled up, ready for the strike. This is it, he told himself. He is mine. The others will never believe I still have it in me. With all his remaining strength, Rajesh launched himself forward, his mouth wide open, fangs gleaming. But at the very last second, Amit took a single step to the side. Rajesh's face slammed straight into the rock-hard block of cheddar. The world spun around him, his head rang like a gong, his fangs snapped off from the impact, leaving only tiny stubs. Dazed and humiliated, Rajesh groaned and curled up in pain. "You tricked me," he cried, playing the victim. "That was an unfair move. I'm calling the police on you." Amit chuckled and continued nibbling on his cheddar. "Go ahead," he said between bites. "Tell them what? That a tiny mouse defeated a mighty hunter with nothing but a step to the side?" Rajesh grumbled, but said nothing. His head throbbed, and worst of all, he could feel his broken fangs barely hanging on. Amit, after a few moments, felt a twinge of pity. The snake had tried to eat him, yes, but he was also old and clearly past his prime. "Come on," Amit said. "I know someone who can help." Before Rajesh could protest, Amit led him to the mouse dentist, a small, wise mouse with tiny glasses and a kind heart. The dentist took one look at Rajesh's broken fangs and shook his head. "These need to come out," he said, "and we'll replace them with something more appropriate." With a few gentle tugs, the last pieces of Rajesh's fangs were removed. In their place, the dentist installed two smooth, non-sharp teeth, perfect for chewing but useless for hunting. Rajesh looked at his new teeth in the mirror and sighed. "I guess this means no more mice for me." "Correct," said the dentist, "and to keep them clean you'll need this." The dentist handed Rajesh a special toothbrush that he could hold with his tail. He showed him how to brush properly, scrubbing away any food bits left behind. From that day forward, Rajesh had no choice but to eat fruits and vegetables. At first he grumbled about it, but soon he noticed he felt lighter, healthier, and, in a strange way, happier. "I suppose it's for the best," he admitted one day. "If you set a trap for others, you might fall into it yourself."